Yo guys, what you saying, man? This is another video from Da Vinci. I just want to give everyone a shout out, like watching my last video. I really appreciate it. I am just starting up videos and YouTube channels, so I just want to give you guys as much good content as I can. So if you guys want to see anything from me, just let me know in the comments, man. You know, keep supporting the thing, and I appreciate it, yeah? Alright, big love, man. So, I'm just going to run you through a trade that I took on GJ, yeah? Very quickly. So this is the one that I promised you guys last week that I said I'll do this week. And the purpose is just really to show you like what I'm looking for on a high time frame, what I'm looking for on a lower time frame. And again, like, you know, how I stalk out what I'm doing, like to the pip sometimes. And, you know, what is a good way. I hope you guys can, you know, take something from this as well. So, as you can see, you know, price is making high highs, high lows, right? Which means that, in my opinion, this is what I define order flow as being. High high and high lows being formed is when there's price dipping into, you know, blocks or areas of demand. And what I classify as areas of demand are the last down candle before an up move, right? So these, you know, these blocks here, and as you can see, price will come into that area, reject, come to the area, reject, right? So because I knew the order flow was bullish, and as you can see, this is a daily chart as well, so this high was taken out, right? So price wicked through that, well, it wicked and closed just above that high, right? And as you can see, price dropped right back down. So what I was looking for here is a continuation. So I was looking for a higher high to be made, right? So what I did is that I went down into a 4 hour time frame. I marked out my daily level here, and then I went down into a 4 hour time frame, right? And I'll just basically refine this entry. So this was my initial, let me just delete the box for now. This was my initial level, right? That was the initial block that I was looking to get in on. And as you can see, if I did get on that, I would have got in, you know, literally just about, and I've been aiming for those highs, which haven't been met yet. But what I wanted to do is get a tighter entry, because on all my trades, what I try and do is max out as much as I can from each trade, and that literally means going on to a lower time frame once I've got my high time frame bias, and just refining my entry, man. You know what I mean? Literally just balls deep in your trade. Like, you've got to be doing this, guys. If you're not doing this and you're not making the most of it, then put down your mouse, man, and like get out your notebook and start revising, bro, because these are the things you need to be doing. So what I did is I marked on my daily level, right? So that was the daily level I had there. And what I then did is I refined that down to a 4 hour entry. So this is also a 4 hour block, funny enough, and it was a daily block. So this was a good level for me to use. So once I had my high time frame level that I expected price to pivot off, which it then did, what I then did is went down into an hourly time frame. Right? And the reason why I'm doing this, guys, is because I'm scaling into the trade. So I'm getting my high time frame areas, mainly because I know that those high time frame areas are likely to hold. All right, that's the only reason why I use those levels, guys, is because I know that they're most likely to hold. You know what I mean? So I've got much more confidence going into the trade. So what I really did is start on the daily, went down to a 4 hour, then went down to a hourly. So this is what I was looking at on the hourly. As you can see, that line is the same 4 hour level that we used, and we got a nice reaction of it. What I then did is drew out this level. So this for me would be a breaker, right? And the reason for that is because it took out stops up below that low, and then price went and retested that same area and spiked off. So, you know, a breaker and mitigation block, they're the same thing, but all they really mean is that it's an area where price has used it to pivot from. So price used this block to pivot and send price down to take out liquidity. Then once price or PA got above that level, as you can see, because price closed above that level, it retested it and moved off it. So these levels are pivot levels for me, and they're very important. So when price comes back to these levels, you're usually going to get a reaction of them, especially when they line up with the higher time frame order flow or the higher time frame trend. And this is what you're really looking for. You're waiting for like these pivot levels. You're waiting for proper high time frame levels to be hit, because this is when you're going to get some powerful moves, man. So this is the level of support that I marked out. As you can see, price came down, tested that level, retested it. So you know, what I could have done is I could have just got in from this level. You know, I do admit that. Put my stop below that low and gone for, you know, let's say I did that, right? All right, let's say I did that. Let's put out the flip. So I could have got in from the body of that level, put my stop below there, and yeah, that would have given me a 3 on that trade, which is alright. You know, I'm not saying there's nothing against getting 3 on trades. I'm not saying that, but because I knew that, you know, I had a very high probability of price, you know, giving me a substantial move of this level. You know me, I'm just a bit cheeky. I wanted to just literally go balls deep on this and make the most of it. So what I was waiting for is for price to come above this level. So you can see the level I marked out, right? For me, this constitutes as a breaker. Why? Because it's taken out stops below those lows and it's taken it into a higher time frame level. So what I wanted to do is I wanted price to move down below the level, and then I wanted it to come above it. So the same thing that price has done here. I mean, look guys, that's what I'm saying. Price is literally fractal. The same thing that this level did here, right, where it took stops down below that low, retested and moved up. It's the same movement I wanted to see at this level. All right, it's exactly the same thing, guys. There's no difference. Price is literally fractal, and it repeats the same shit again and again, man. All right, so that's what I wanted to see here. So I marked out that breaker. And then what I did is I went down to a 30-minute time frame. So again, guys, I'm just scaling into the trades, man. All right, and as you can see, we've also got a 30-minute block, right? So the same candle is being used here. Same thing, right? So let me just make this a bit easier for you guys to see. All right, so this is the area of price that I wanted to hold. Okay, and I think initially I tried to get in here, yeah, I tried to get in here. I did not wait for confirmation, and I think I got in here, put my stop below that. I think it was about that. I tried to get an 8R out of that high, right? So I had my stop about there, not in a proper place. It was a very sloppy entry, guys, because I was trying to just get in the trade. I didn't want to miss out. But what I failed to do is wait for confirmation. And what you know, for this kind of setup to really work, you need to make sure that price, you know, retest this area. That is key. If it does not retest the area and it does this and continues lower, you know, this trade idea is scrapped. So that's the first reason. I think I got stopped up for 1R, and as you can see, price pivoted off that block here, off that small demand zone, and then what it did is it broke above that level and then retested the area, right? So when this retest happened, this also came into another mitigation block. So you see how this thing is fractal. See, price broke down. That was the block which took out stops below that area into that block, and then price came above that, tested that level, right? So you could have got an entry from there, but I didn't get an entry from there. I wanted to wait and have the confirmation on this higher time frame level. So what happened is that price tested above that level, then it fully broke above. So this is when things got a bit interesting, right? Is when you got a break above this area here, all right? Once price broke above this block, that is when I got interested, and I got an entry from this level here, right? So what I did is I just marked out this level. And as you know, I'm going to be a bit of a cheeky bastard again and go down to a 5-minute time frame. So this is like my favorite time frame for getting entries, man. I just take the piss. When it comes to getting entries, man, I'm just a prick in it. So what I did here is that I used this area. So I literally used the body of that, and I put my stop up below, just below there. So as you can see, price whipped me in, right? It did come down, like, well, it did come back down again, but I got in from about that level, and I was just aiming for, the first target I had was this high. So I closed out literally about 60% of my position for AR. The reason why I did that is because, as you can see, I was up about 6.5R, nearly 7R, right? And price literally did like a sort of double top pattern and just shat back down. And at this point, I hadn't actually moved what I usually do is I move my stop up. And what that will do is that it will lock in, you know, it will lock in risks. It will lock in some reward for me. So usually what I do is that when price goes above 5R, I'll look in about 3R, and then look for another re-entry, which would have, you know, I could have got another re-entry about here. We just mark out that block. same sort of pattern, guys. All right. Last like candle before the down move, price came above, retested it. So you can see how you can just use the same pattern. Like you literally can trade with one pattern. You know what I'm trying to say? You don't even need to be doing madness, man. So that's what price did. It came above. I could have got re-entry there. But in this case, I didn't lock in anything. And it was a good job I didn't do this because I would have got raped in my position, man. Because as you can see, price came down and it just shut the bed a bit. Came back down. And then used this level as a pivot level again. And then went to go and take out these highs. So basically, when price got above these highs again, I literally locked off 60% of the position. And I think I left a bit on to run till it hit about 10R. Once price hit about 10R, I closed off the whole thing. So, you know, it was alright. It was a decent trade. I mean, I locked in a good strong 8R on 60%, and then I locked in another 2R later. It was a good trade. But I think the lesson that I learned is just to wait for confirmation, because as much as I tried to get an entry here and I got stopped out, I have a rule set, a skill set where I tell myself I must wait for confirmation before I get any trade. And being a cunt as I am, I will obviously not follow my own rules from time to time, guys. You will do this shit, man. I know everyone does it. If you say you don't do it, you're a liar. Don't lie to man, because I know you do it. But you need to make sure that you follow your rules as much as you can. You know what I mean? Because if you do that, then it will just make you a lot more disciplined. And when you're disciplined, you're going to be at your best game. You know, you're going to be focused. You're going to be doing what you should be doing, and you won't be losing as many trades as you would do. So that was my mindset behind this one, man. All right, guys. It's a very simple trade. It's just a breaker, retest of the breaker, and then we find high targets. And the reason why I like this is because you can really get some tight entries using breakers. Really get some tight entries. So for example, if we go back down to this area price where I showed you could get a re-entry. Look how dirty, look how finesse you could get with your entries, man. Like if you really wanted to take the piss, like you could just be a cunt, right, and use what? How big of a stock would that be? Let's just say you wanted to go that far, right? I mean, you gotta make sure you incorporate the spread in this, because it will usually stop you out. You could have put in 3.5 pip stop, right? You could have got an entry here, a 3.5 pip stop, and if you were targeting, let's say you're targeting those highs, right? So with a 3.5 pip stop from there, targeting those highs, which is what I was targeting anyway, you are risking 3 pips for 52 pips. Guys, that is basically a 16R trade. So if you're risking 1% on that trade, you're making 16% of your account. Even if you've got a small account, 16% on a counter trend trade is, that's definitely good, man. So, I think focus on a couple patterns. That's that's what the moral of this story really is. Focus on a couple of patterns, guys. Just practice them, and then just, use 2 strategies. That's what I'd say. You only need about 1 or 2 strategies. Once you've gotten that, then just stay disciplined and wait for fucking confirmation. All right? Don't be a cunt and try and get in the trade too early, because price will rape you again and again. All right? Wait for your confirmation. Wait for price to break above these levels. Wait for it to retest them. Boom. Get in your trade. Secure profits when you should. All right? Always have set levels where you secure profits. Once you've done that, just let the rest run, man. Let the rest run. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys like this, subscribe, like, comment, do all the madness, share it, all right? I love you guys, man. And take care, all right? Have a good week. Peace.